Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Shawn, and I'm based in Vancouver, Canada. On behalf of GMIDGO's virtual team, we're really happy today we have Martin, from the CEO from IAPCO here, that would talk a little bit about how IAPCO been helping their member during this outbreak, and also why he thinks is still very important on the GMID day that everyone should come together. So, good morning, Martin. How are you? Sorry, good afternoon for you, actually.
Hi, Shawn. I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you? And congratulations on doing your first interview.
Thank you. Thank you. How about let's start with Martin. Let's tell our audience a little bit about what does IAPCO stand for?
So IAPCO is the International Association of Professional Congress Organizers. Thank you. And so our members are companies, and they are all professional conference organizer companies. And they deliver both corporate and association meetings and events around the globe. We have members from all parts of the world, and there's about 140 odd company members that are currently part of the IAPCO family. And within those companies, they represent just over 9,000 event professionals, and they deliver on average about 9 billion euros worth of economic impact into cities around the world where they deliver their meetings and events for their clients.
I know the very unique part for IAPCO is not everyone can join. There is quite a process to actually become a member. How about just take a few minutes, take a few seconds, kind of walk us through a little bit on that.
That's right, Shawn. So in order to become a member of IAPCO, a company needs to apply first, and they need to meet certain criteria on number of events and size of events and location of events that they deliver on an annual basis. And then they need to be, they are taken through an accreditation program. That accreditation program is fairly rigorous. We review their office, their operations, but we also review in person their congresses that they're delivering for their clients. We then, on an annual basis, once that member becomes a member of IAPCO, they have to continue to prove to us that they're providing a very high level of quality service. And in order for us to assess that, we do a re-accreditation and a re-qualification program and audit of our members on an annual basis. So they join based on the quality of their service, and they continue to be a member if they continue to demonstrate that they're delivering high quality services across the board.
So clearly, I think PCO is being a very unique business model in our industry, but also probably is the one that got impacted by the current outbreak, the more significant, even from the early on stage, because they're dealing with most of the international congress, right? So how about tell us a little bit about how this outbreak, from your standpoint, will impact your members, and then how what IAPCO been kind of doing in support of the member.
Yeah, look, let's not underestimate the impact that this has had on our sector and all of our members as professional congress organizers. I think the first thing that we saw from our members was the immediate issue of not being able to travel and the travel restrictions that were put in place, and restrictions based on number of people allowed to gather in different jurisdictions around the world. So what that caused was the need to move existing meetings and dates from locations later on in the year from current dates that were scheduled and marketed and sold, and delegates had already bought their tickets and their hotels and their accommodation and their travel plans were already made. Then having to shift them to later in the year of this year, some actually moving to 2021, and even some, believe it or not, moving to 2022. Mm-hmm. So all of this, of course, has then had a knock-on effect to the cash flow of the PCO, or the professional congress organizer, that's planning that meeting for either that corporate client or that association client. So it's had a real dramatic impact on that. As such, many of them are, of course, still working with their clients in the planning for the meeting as it's moved maybe 6 months down the road. But literally overnight, their cash flow into their business has dried up for this particular point in time. So it's been a very
Tough.
realistic challenge and
Yeah.
difficult challenge for them to deal with.
So how
So,
APCO being helping? Are you guys doing
so
anything during this time for your member?
yeah, there's a lot we've been doing both on a micro and a macro level for them, Shawn. So I guess looking at a micro level first, looking at the challenges that our members have been facing. The first thing is still the lack of information or the challenge of getting the right information from the right sources to the right people.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things we implemented immediately was an online communication dialogue for our members to get together from all over the world, so that one from an Asia Pacific region could communicate with one from a European region and North America, etc. Because what we were finding was coronavirus, as it spread globally, was having a different impact in different regions, and that was then having a knock-on effect to what they were able to do for their clients, for their events and congresses. So we created what we called an IAPCO coronavirus impact dialogue. It's almost like a webinar where
Very
our
on
members
point.
were able to join, and we had around 50 to 60 members join. We've had 3 so far, and we have another one for our members coming up next week. And we've discussed everything from cancellation to postponement to insurance policies, force majeure, what that means. And we're speaking about virtual meetings. We spoke about and engaged and shared information on partnerships with convention bureaus and hotels and service providers. So it's been a real eye-opening experience for all of us, but it has created this wonderful platform and opportunity for all our members around the globe to interact on an ongoing basis. So that's been really important for them.
That's very good. That's very good.
Yeah. So some of the other things we've done for members, and one particularly important, I think, is that understanding the cash flow challenges that many of them have had. We, for the first time in our 51-year history, are having to look at ways of working with them to ensure that their membership fees to IAPCO can still be paid, but on their terms. So we're working on flexible terms for them, deferment of payments in some cases until their cash flow resumes again at a level that they're comfortable with. And this is something, again, that it's never happened in our history before, but B, I'm committed to working with all of our members to make sure that we can work with them through this challenging time. It's very important that as an association, providing them with value, that's something that I'm have near and dear to my heart, to make sure that we work with them through this.
That's very good that APCO doing that. I also know that if I'm understanding, that IAPCO also being still continue have the conversation with other industry association as well, like EIC, JCAT, on the global advocacy level. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, indeed we have, Shawn. We've been a strategic partner with, as you mentioned, the likes of EIC, Events Industry Council, also Joint Meetings Industry Council, JIMIC, and we sit at the table with them on an ongoing basis. We share what's happening in our membership base to them, but more importantly, at times like these, we come together as a group of industry bodies to represent the voices of our members and advocate on an international perspective to governments, stakeholders that are out there, to make sure that the voice for the meeting sector across the board is heard very loud and clear. So, I sit on, and most recently have been sitting in on meetings with the EIC and their committee and council. Joint Meetings Industry Council is running a lot of initiatives in order to raise that profile and that voice. And I think it's very important that we continue to do so. So from that macro level, that advocacy is key for us all getting through this, I think, in the long term.
Global meeting industry was created a couple of years ago. One of the key focus is advocacy, and using as a platform to educate the public, educate the government on why it's so important of this industry. Originally, I know every city, every region, they have their own face-to-face events that planning on that day, and of course now they are all not going to happen. And therefore,
Yeah.
that's kind of why we kind of coming to this idea of we should still do something on this day, but maybe just on the virtual front. So maybe tell us a little bit about why APCO, or from your perspective, that you think that people still should, beside, like we are all, lots of us lost our job, lots of us, the business are impact dramatically. But so why is so important from your perspective that on April the 14th, we should still do something?
Yeah, it's incredibly important. I think, over the last several weeks, I've seen a lot of organizations kind of spreading the message, and a very positive message about supporting what we're doing in the industry. And in fact, I've actually seen some organizations for the first time come together and try and share that and promote that message, which is great. But I have to say that I look at Global Meetings Industry Day as a bit of a movement, and I always have since its inception. And it sort of captures the hearts of people in the meetings industry. Coronavirus is weighing really heavily on business, but it's also weighing incredibly heavily in the hearts and minds of everybody that works and lives and breathes our industry and our meetings space. And, Global Meetings Industry Day to me is a bit of a philosophy, and the philosophy of, resilience and positivity, I would say. And let's be honest, we all need a little bit of positivity these days. So I think what you're doing is great. I think, it's important to continue to do so, and we can do that very effectively through the virtual space. So I wholeheartedly support what you're doing.
So GMID Goes Virtual is a virtual event going to be online on April the 14th. It will be at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern time, but also 5 p.m. UK time and 6 p.m. European time. The goal is to gather as many people as possible from the industry and have a collectively get together, basically. It's only going to be 30 minutes because we know there are a lot of other GMID events planning during the day that lots of them provide very high quality education or opportunity to discussion. Therefore, for GMID Goes Virtual, for this event, what we want to do is, I think it's actually exactly what Martin mentioned earlier, is we want to using this as the opportunity to share a little bit positivity. We want to have the opportunity for, the industry globally can hold hands together. We can give each other a virtual hug together. We can put the smile back on everyone's, even just for 30 minutes. Because we know that by doing so, that gave us the opportunity and gave us the energy to kind of move forward, right? So if you have not yet registered, go to gmidgoesvirtual.com. Once you click register, you will be able to see the registration page. As for now, actually, let me just doing this live. As for now, we have 6,853 people registered just within the minutes. And our goal is to hit 15,000 people. And by doing that, we will be able to then potentially break the Guinness World Records title for largest audience for a virtual conference. Martin, do you have any, I will say, message or encouraging word you would like to share with your member and also kind of the global industry that's watching this?
Yeah, look, I would encourage everyone to get involved. As Shawn said, it's 30 minutes of your day, but just think, it's the Guinness World Record that we're looking to break. In doing so, you're going to be part of something pretty special. Shawn mentioned, a virtual hug. This is a virtual hug, but it's something bigger than that for all of us. And, back to my feeling, my personal feeling that, Global Meetings Industry Day is a movement. We can really make things move here by coming together. So I encourage all of you, I'm encouraging all of our IAPCO members to get involved, to take time, to get their teams together, to get involved or do it alone, virtually and with their teams or however they can. But come together to support this because it's a great initiative, and wholeheartedly support it and congratulate GMID and the whole initiative behind it. So good luck, stay healthy, and stay safe. Thanks, Shawn.
Thank you so much, Martin, and thanks everyone for watching this. See you all on Tuesday, April the 14th, at the time of your time zone. Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye-bye.